Something is shifting inside the walls of West 56th Street, and you can feel the weight of expectation hanging in the air. The draft might be over, but for the Indianapolis Colts, the real battle for the future is just beginning. We aren't just looking at names on a list. We are looking at the potential pillars of our next championship run. If you're a real fan who bleeds blue and white, you need to hit that like button and subscribe right now. We are the Colts faithful, and we know that every single roster move brings us closer today. The draft room has gone quiet, the lights have dimmed, but the phone lines are still buzzing because Chris Ballard knows something the rest of the league often forgets. It isn't just about the guys who hear their names called on the big stage. It is about the hungry players waiting for that one chance to prove everyone wrong. We just saw 8 new draft picks join the ranks, from C.J. Allen to Deion Burks. But the real story is the influx of talent that arrived right after the final whistle blew. This is where the identity of the Indianapolis Colts is truly forged. Think about the history we have here. We're talking about guys like Gary Brackett and Dominic Rhodes, names that are etched into Colts lore who started exactly where these new faces are standing today. Ballard has built a reputation for finding those hidden gems that other teams overlook, and this 2026 class feels like it has that same secret energy. We've seen him do it with Kenny Moore too, turning a waiver claim into a franchise cornerstone. Now, we are looking at a roster sitting at 86 players, with only a few spots left before we hit that 90-man limit for training camp. The pressure is mounting because every single signing, every UDFA, and every minicamp invitee is fighting for a life-changing opportunity. But here's the thing. This isn't just about filling out a depth chart for the summer. It's about finding the spark that rights the ship. We addressed huge needs at linebacker and edge rusher, doubling up on both to ensure the defense has the teeth it needs to compete in the AFC. But will these rookies be enough? That is where the tension starts to build. We are looking at a blend of SEC and Big Ten grinders, players who have played in the biggest atmospheres, now coming to Indy to see if they can survive the jump. Now this is where it gets interesting. The jersey numbers are out, the lockers are being labeled, and the rookie minicamp is officially kicking off. It feels like something big is happening behind the scenes, a quiet transformation of the roster that could define the Shane Steichen era. We are watching the foundation being poured, but will it hold? This represents a new chapter for every player entering this historic building in downtown Indy tonight. When you look at the names coming in as undrafted free agents, you can't help but feel a sense of cautious optimism mixed with genuine concern. This is the part of the year where hope is high, but the reality of the NFL is cold and unforgiving. Among the signings, one name stands out like a giant among men, and that's Nolan Rucci from Penn State. At 6'8" and over 300 pounds, he represents exactly what Chris Ballard loves: raw, physical tools that can be molded into a weapon. But the question remains, can he transition his massive frame into the speed of the professional game? This is where the emotional analysis deepens because we've seen draft and stash linemen work before, but we've also seen them disappear. The risk is real. If these developmental pieces don't hit, the depth of this team becomes a fragile glass house. We are looking at guys like Austin Brown from Wisconsin and Cam Ball from Arkansas, players with high pedigrees who somehow slipped through the cracks. Why did they slip? What do the scouts see that we don't? As a fan, it's agonizing to wait and see if these are the next special team aces or if they're just camp bodies. The roster consequences are massive. To make room for these signings, someone we know, someone who has been a part of this locker room, is going to get cut. That's the brutal nature of this business. There's a hidden tension in the building as the veterans watch these young, hungry kids walk through the door. The expectations are sky high because the Super Bowl window doesn't stay open forever. We need these rookies like safety A.J. Halsey and linebacker C.J. Allen to not just participate but to push the veterans to their limits. The chemistry of the locker room is a delicate thing, and introducing 20 or 30 new personalities during a rookie minicamp can change the vibration of the whole facility. You can feel the uncertainty in the air. Are we building a contender, or are we just accumulating talent and hoping for the best? Every rep in minicamp carries the weight of 1,000 dreams, and for us fans, the suspense of who will actually emerge as a contributor is almost too much to bear for us. This is where things change, because when the helmets go on for that first minicamp session, the names on the jerseys don't matter as much as the fire in the eyes. We are looking at a massive group of tryout invites, guys like Blake Shapen from Mississippi State and Jaden Ballard from Wisconsin, who are literally fighting for their professional lives. And that's the biggest question. Who among them has the mental toughness to survive the Indianapolis heat and the complexity of Steichen's system? This block of players represents the what this really means for the franchise. If Ballard has truly found another Kenny Moore or a Rigoberto Sanchez in this pile of UDFAs, then the Colts are positioned to be a powerhouse for years. But if this class stalls, if the linebacker depth we've tried to build with CJ Allen and Bryce Boettcher doesn't translate to the field, then we are back at square one. The emotional escalation here is tied to the fear of mediocrity. We've been stuck in that middle ground for too long, and this 2026 class is supposed to be the injection of youth that pushes us over the edge. Think about the pressure on these kids. They are walking into a facility with a rich history, seeing the banners, and knowing that the fans expect nothing less than a deep playoff run. Because this could become something much bigger than just a few rookie practices. This could be the start of a defensive revolution. We went heavy on the edge with George Gumbs Jr. and Caden Curry, clearly signaling that the pass rush wasn't where it needed to be. But the tension lies in the development. Can these late-round picks and undrafted guys actually provide the pressure we need against the elite quarterbacks of the AFC? Every time I look at the list of signings, I find myself looping back to the same thought. What if one of these guys is the missing piece? What if Nolan Rucci becomes the cornerstone tackle we've been searching for? The uncertainty is what keeps us coming back. The what happens next energy that defines the offseason. We are watching a high-stakes game of roster chess, and every move Ballard makes with these UDFAs is a gamble on our future. I'm going to be honest with you, I really like some of these moves, but there's a part of me that's actually worried. We've seen this script before where we get hyped about the hidden gems, and then the season starts, and the depth just isn't there. I think fans should pay attention to the wide receiver room especially. Bringing in Deion Burks in the 7th round, and then adding guys like EJJ, Orton and Samir Hagans as UDFAs shows that the coaching staff isn't satisfied with the current explosive playmaking ability. This actually worries me because it suggests there might be more concerns about our veteran pass catchers than they're letting on. But on the flip side, I love the aggression in the secondary. Austin Brown and AJ Halsey bring a certain physical presence that we've been lacking. I really like this move to bring in so many defensive backs for tryouts. It feels like Shane Steichen is looking for a specific kind of dog mentality. I'm cautiously optimistic that we might have found a few starters in the most unlikely places. But let's be real, for every success story, there are 10 guys who won't make it past August. That's why this insider fan perspective is so important. We see the potential in a guy like Jordan Vaughn or Lincoln Pear at running back, but we also know the uphill battle they face. I think the identity of this team is being rebuilt right now, from the ground up, with blue-collar players who have everything to prove. It feels like a return to that Colts forged mentality. I really believe that the success of the 2026 season isn't just going to depend on our stars, but on how many of these rookies can actually contribute on special teams and in rotation. It's a balance of hope and uncertainty. I'm excited to see these guys in the New Jersey numbers, seeing the blue and white on them for the first time, but I'm also holding my breath. This could be an incredible turning point for the franchise, or it could become a problem if we're relying too heavily on unproven talent. We have to trust the process, but we know results must come very soon for the blue and white faithful everywhere tonight. We are all waiting to see who becomes the next great star for this legendary Indianapolis organization soon. As the rookies finish their first camp circuit and the jersey numbers become a reality, the weight of the future rests on their shoulders. We are entering a phase of the offseason where every story is a cliffhanger, and every practice report could change the narrative of the entire year. Will CJ Allen live up to the second-round pedigree? Can Nolan Rucci transform into the mountain of a man we need on the line? Or will an unknown name from the tryout list like Blake Shapen or Jaden Ballard surprise us all and snatch a roster spot? The story of the 2026 Indianapolis Colts is being written in real time, and the ink is still wet. The tension is unresolved, and the anticipation for training camp is already reaching a fever pitch. We know the history, we know the stakes, and we know that for the Colts faithful, anything less than excellence is unacceptable. I want to hear from you. Which of these UDFAs do you think has the best chance to become a franchise legend? Who are you most excited to see in those New Jersey numbers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because we need the real fans to weigh in on this right now. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay tuned as we follow every twist and turn of this journey. Something big is happening in Indy, and the road to the Super Bowl starts right here, with these 86 men and dreams.